Hello, folks. It's Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. As usual, my name is Todor Vladov, and I'm back with the 56th episode of Keeping It Realistic, a show done in collaboration with Chaos and very much dedicated and revolving around the Chaos Campus community. The first half of 2025 is over. I hope it was a good one for you. If nothing, then let's hope that the second one will be better. So now let me welcome all of you to the very first show in the second half of this year. Now, to celebrate the 55th episode, because it was a cool number, it was like this rap digit, we had a guest over. We invited Nate Skilla to be my co reviewer, and it made for an amazing show with a great atmosphere, very genuine, honest, and direct discussions. And it really felt so natural, as if Nate and I haven't been doing anything else than reviewing a show. It was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed it a lot, and you seem to have enjoyed it a lot as well. And now today we have our 56th episode, and despite having no real occasion, not even such a great number as 55 was, we'll still be having a guest. And let me explain to you why I consider having a co-reviewer in this show with me to be such a great thing. So maybe in order to do that, let's view this topic from different perspectives. So let's see what's in for you, the audience. Well, first of all, you get a very more unique, exciting, and lively show with seeing not only me, but somebody next to me, an ever changing guest or co reviewer on every next show. The shows obviously become more exclusive, more exciting, more interesting to look at. Secondly, we get a second pair of eyes. That this means that when it comes to reviewing your works, which is the essence of this show, you won't be getting feedback from only me, but also from a second artist. And this is incredibly important and worth really a lot because our field, remember this, our field is a subjective one. This is not mathematics or something where there is a true or false, where there is one correct answer. Here, there are multiple ways to see or approach something, and obviously, there are multiple ways to view it. So, getting more than one opinion is absolutely worth a lot. And finally, last but definitely not least, you get to know your fellow community members. And this is amazing. You know, we're this very tight knit and supportive community. We stick together, we help each other. We even have a chat, newly established chat since a week, where we get to talk about personal and off topic stuff. So obviously, it makes a lot of sense for us to know each other as it should be in a great society, right? Now let's see what's in for my co-reviewer. Well, obviously they get exposure. You see them already on the cover of the show. You get to see them live within the limits of the show. But it's not only that. Afterwards, this video gets uploaded to our official YouTube channel, and this is like an official Chaos sub channel, which gives your appearance a lot of legitimacy. And of course, once again, a very important thing, my guests get to practice being in front of the camera, presenting in front of people, conversating in English. And this is really crucial when it comes to, especially if you aim at, getting international clients or doing presentations in front of an international audience. So yeah, this is once again something very important. And what's in for me? Well, I obviously get to have some awesome company and someone to directly communicate with and hang out with. And I think this is exactly what we should start doing now. And it's time for me to invite my guest and my co-reviewer for today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome straight from Brazil, Estela Andrade. There she is. Hello,
Hello,
Estela. Welcome to
guys.
the show.
Hello, nice to be here today. I'm very glad to be part of that.
This is
Be part
awesome
of
to
this.
have you here. And honestly, we've discussed works of yours in the past, mostly to very good reviews and barely anything to criticize. But I don't think that we know enough about you. So please tell us more about you, not only as an artist, but also as a person, the person Estela.
Thank you, Kel. Well, my name is Estela Andrade. I'm 31 years old, and I am from a small island located on the coast of São Paulo, Brazil. Today, I am a co-founder of the studio Bonza Studio, with my partner Pedro Borges, and well, we decided to create the Bonza Studio as soon as we met. You know, at the time we were working for another company, and we didn't have any clients, so the things moved very quickly once we started working together, and we began with competition projects, and the clients started coming naturally. And after 1 year, we gradually left the company we working and decided to take the risk work independently. And it's been going really well. And what I can say about me, I discovered the archivist or the 3D area when I was like around 24 years old. At the time, I was living in Portugal. I moved to Portugal to study international trade at the time. And that time I also need to move from apartment. That's the story how the archivist started in my life. I I was in a relationship, another relationship, and I have to move to the from the apartment we had to another one. So I want to um, prove my point about how the furniture and the things should be arranged at the apartment. So I looked for a website or something that I can visually show my ideas. That's when I found a site called Home Styler, and I was fascinated. As soon as I was spending hours modeling and choosing furniture, no, and but I want to do more. And I searched about 3D, and I found the SketchUp and Ray, and I started working on this, and I left the college because I was fascinating about the 3D area. I gave up the college, and I think I have to study this. I want to do this, but I didn't win money at the time. No. I just in the beginning. I like 5 years studying and practicing, and I discovered that okay, I need to do more things. I need the new softwares that can, because the unfortunately the SketchUp started being limited for me, you know, to do the big scenes and whatever. So when I 29 years old, I came back to Brazil, and I had the opportunity to have a good computer because I started work for this company, you know, and then I could install the 3ds Max for the first time, and make the renders with Corona and a new word for me. I left the SketchUp and Ray, and now I'm working on 3ds Max. It's crazy because at the time when I saw the 3ds Max for the first time, the layouts, the desktop of the 3ds Max is like, okay, this seems like a program for the NASA. It's a little. I was scared about that. You know, how can I move things here? You know, and so I started learning because I could get in an online course where I met Pedro. We met each other by the internet, and I was learning with in this group in this course and making the first image, and he helped me a lot with some problems that I had at the time. I was in Portugal yet, but I was doing a job for a client, and I didn't have a good PC yet, a good computer. I was using Mac and handling the previews on the Hibus farm because I didn't have the process, the machine that doesn't support, and was very difficult, but I delivered the job. Pedro helped me. I made a archive for him. He opened on his computer just to clean my scene and send me back to Hamburg. So why I love him. And after that, we came and we met each other. We found the bonsai studio that we work together, and the things is very nice. And this is how I started on 3D, just to prove my point of view and to show my ideas to the other people. And I love it. Now it's my life. It's
This is awesome. I mean, it's hard to believe that at some point you would really do your work and even, do test renders with cloud rendering. But on the other side, it shows that if there is will, there is also a way, right? You wanted this to happen. So instead of, saying, yeah, no, my PC is too weak or not suitable for what I want to do, you said, well, I'll find a way because I really, really want this to be what I do. So if needed, I'll just go for cloud rendering, but I'll keep doing it until I can, afford a better PC or something. I think this is truly inspiring, honestly. And
Yeah, it
also,
was very difficult at the time because I had to install the Windows inside Mac,
yeah, boot
inside a
camp.
April. Yeah, it was very crazy.
Yeah,
It's the work it.
I never used a Mac, I gotta say, or owned an iPhone or something like this. I don't have anything against it. I know many people. I work with people who are like into graphic design. They love Mac, and I think their monitors are very well suited for graphic design. But when it comes to rendering, even though there are versions for Mac, this is not the right choice. You get
No,
way more bang for your buck with a Windows PC, even though Windows is absolutely anything else than perfect. But yeah,
and it's a expensive computer,
yeah.
and with the money of that computer I can just buy a NASA computer for me, but I didn't have the choice. They gave me, the computer that I had at the time. Was not my computer, but I was using, and I had to do what I had to do
Yeah,
to
and
to work
I mean,
it.
in the meantime, you're used to Macs, I assume, because you said first time opening it, it was like a NASA, user interface. But I think it's normal. I also started up with SketchUp during study times. This was the only software that was shown to us for like 2 hours on an afternoon, and this was it. And afterwards, I moved over to Rhino, which is obviously way more complex. But still, moving from Rhino to Max was also like, what the hell? Where should I start? What's this? But yeah, I invested in a course, and this really paid off for me because I already had an established client base, and I needed to make a transition on the fly, so to speak. So it needed to work from one project to the other. I didn't have the time to work myself into this, but yeah, it's I think that in the meantime, judging by your works, you very much know your way around 3ds Max, right?
Yeah, thank you. I am
Yeah.
always learning, and Pedro helped me a lot. Like even today, that it's 2 years that I am using the 3ds Max, and sometimes I ask Pedro, where I put this here. Thank you, help me. Like where where is the tie flow?
Yeah, yeah, it's normal.
But no, yeah, and it's more easy to ask him.
Okay, I know in future I'll also ask Pedro, but yeah, I see here people in the comments are very active. We have Mikael, Amit, Pedro, of course. He says, lovely guest today. Absolutely agree, Pedro. Danushka is here, Simon, Amir, Gideon, and Amit says, awesome journey, Estela. I used Mac only to troubleshoot my friends and clients' problems as they didn't have Windows or liked Windows PC and love Mac for their presentation and they use AutoCAD. Yeah, if you use it like this, it's normal. But other than that, nah, I don't recommend Mac. I mean, nothing against this, but better not.
Yeah, maybe for some people that work with videos or Photoshop, I don't know, like editing things. The Mac is very good. The system is very nice, but it's not compatible. It's not doesn't work with a lot of softwares that we use.
Yeah,
So it's a shame.
that's the
It's
thing.
not good.
Exactly. Now, folks, just so you know, to the chat, there's going to be a Q&A section in the end of the show. If you have any questions for Stella, please keep them for the end of the show so that we can bombard her with questions, hoping that she would answer them all. Now, you know how what we do in this show, it's still keeping it realistic and not a chaos campus live show, so we won't be focusing only on the stellas. She actually is my co-host, my co-reviewer, and now we'll start doing what we usually do. We'll check out some news, tutorials, and of course review some of your works from the past 2 weeks together. And first we'll start, I'll share my screen and we'll start with some recent news. We'll just breeze through them. We won't spend too much time talking about them, but nevertheless, these are things worth talking about. I hope you can see my screen. Yes, should work
Yes.
now. So let's start with V-Ray for Blender. It came out a week ago and to a really amazing response for the community. If you watch the comments here, you see people saying at last, that's amazing, it's awesome. It seems like the Arvis fraction of Blender users are really, really happy with this. And it actually makes sense because V-Ray is a very, very powerful and mighty render engine. So having it would be great. I think that the Archviz division would also be very happy to get Corona, but as far as I can tell, this won't be happening because then all the Corona code should be rewritten, which in turn will make all the other developments that we look upon, like Corona 14 and stuff, they will have to be put on hold, which we obviously don't know. So I think if you want to use a Chaos project as a blended user, you need to go with V-Ray in this particular case. Estela, have you used Blender in the past or in the present, or have you
Yes.
used it at all?
No, Blender, like SketchUp, was the one of the first softwares that I tried, but I couldn't do so much things on Blender at the time. I don't know why, because I, I thought it difficult for me to use Blender. It's strange because 3ds Max is very, very difficult. The line of the learning is very high. And but on Blender, I think I started the wrong way. I started trying to modeling or something like that, and I'm not so good at modeling things. But Blender is amazing because I think it's you can do everything inside of Blender. It's a free source, so it's very nice to be free. And my sister actually is using Blender. I have one sister that is 11 years younger than me, and she is starting doing things like for characters and I don't know this kind of job, no personagens.
Yeah, yeah, character modeling and stuff. Well, that's cool.
Characters, yes, and she's loving the blender with the and now with V-Ray, it's a bloom on my eggs. It's like I think it's actually what the blend was needing, this puree for that.
Seems like this, judging by the response from the community. But yeah, I mean, I myself haven't used Blender much. I've tried it out a couple of times. I needed it a couple of times too for, let's say, format conversion and stuff. But I gotta say, it seems to be a very divisive software. People seem to either love or hate it for some reason. Like
Yeah.
the Blender fans are very fanatic. I'm not sure if it's all of them or maybe just a loud minority. And then the Blender haters are also, or at least to me, they seem also kind of
Like
unreasonable.
the extremism, you know?
Yeah.
Some love it, some hate it. But I
How
think
about
it's.
you, Chad? What do you think, guys? I know that we have some people in the community, like Fatia, for example. He was very happy about this release. Seems like he's a Blender user, and he very much enjoyed having V-Ray for Blender. He already tried it and was really excited about it. But yeah, it's for some reason with no other software is that divisive as Blender for whatever reason. I cannot tell, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. While we're here on Facebook, let me once again introduce to you the Chaos Campus YouTube channel. This time up to date and neatly arranged. Everything is in order. If you scroll to the bottom, you see Keep It Realistic episode 1, and then it goes up to the most recent episode, episode 55 with Nate Skilla. So yeah, now we have this. We also have playlists as well, meaning we have all the Keeping It Realistic episodes in chronological order, starting with the latest and going down to the first one. We also have some a separate playlist with outtakes where we discuss some topics from, yeah, within a show that I just cut off of the rest of the episode so that you can focus on some topics that we can talked about. And we also have a playlist about Corona Campus special episodes such as the 10th anniversary of Corona or Escape or the 50th episode of Keeping It Realistic where we had some awesome guests from the community in the show. So yeah, definitely check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already, even though I mean the channel just started and we already have 90 subscriptions, which is really, really amazing. And now we have, because Meta started deleting the recordings of our live sessions, meaning that if we don't save them somewhere like here, we'll be losing them forever. If you now want to go back, watch the 53rd or 52nd episode, you won't find them anymore in the group. They're gone forever. But I make sure to download them and upload them here. There is a small catch. Episodes are usually uploaded with a 2 week delay so that this YouTube channel doesn't become a competition to our group. So people have still 2 weeks to watch the episode in the group. And after that, they can also find it here. And here is the whole bundled knowledge from all the 1.5 years of, Keeping It Realistic, but also other shows like, for example, the Escape birthday party. So yeah, and by the way, folks, there YouTube gives me the option to create shots, and this is something which I would like to do with you as well, Estela. So I already asked you once to record for me those 30-second shots for the promotion on social media that started yesterday, by the way. You can see it here, and it's already given us many, many new members since yesterday. Almost 100 people joined our community. It seems like this really, really had a great impact on the community, and our group is growing because of this. So thank you very, very much for sharing those videos. Some of you already, I think, have seen themselves talking, like here, Mariana or Danushka or Ulfat and Simon. So yeah, it is awesome that you did this. And now I will ask you to do this in 60 seconds, not in 30 seconds anymore. It's still short, but not that short, for our YouTube channel. And then I will start sharing those shorts on a weekly or a bi-weekly base. So yeah, this would be awesome. I'll soon make a post about this, and then I'll ask you to start creating those videos where you just tell me or tell other people what you like about the campus, why you're on the campus, how you benefit from it, so that more and more people join our awesome community. Estela, what do you say? Would you participate with a video?
Ah, I love it. The idea, I think it's very beautiful. The organized, the page is very organized. The the possibility of to see all videos, and it's easy to find the video that you want to watch. I love it. Love it. Congratulations for the work. It's very beautiful and useful. That it's important for us in the community because we are trying always to find new information and to be very well known about the things, what happened, and the news, and you find everything here. Thanks to you.
Thumbs
And
up
thank
from
you,
Estella.
Estela.
Thank you very much. And I see the comment section. Danushka saying it's about a Blender topic. I tried it in the beginning, but there was no much support for Arvis, so I came over to Max. Yeah, now there is more support with Viray coming to Blender, but yeah, Pedro explains why the war is going on. He says it seems to have an underlying war between Blender users and every other software. It's funny, but it's an amazing software indeed. Just don't tell them I said it. Yeah, of course, already out there. It's just that 3ds Max is more intuitive for me since I'm using it since Max 4. Yeah, and I think Max is still the industry standard. I mean, we've had some really major surveys done on this topic. We did it in this group, in the VW Art Club, which has like 200,000 members, and Max still seems to be the industry standard. So you find more assets for it and everything. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, so I think enough of news. Let's briefly check out some two learning topics. This is something that I really quickly wanted to show you. You know Abdi, or you may know him as AS Art, 3D, and motion graphics. When it comes to clothes simulation, this is a topic that comes very often, especially with new users. I think Mariana will reach out to me recently and said, "How do you put a blanket on a couch or something like this?" And this is a very, very reasonable question because not every time you find the right asset, and sometimes you need the flexibility to do it on your own. So here we have two tutorials by Abdi showing us how to do cloth simulation in 3ds Max with TypeFlow. And Abdi is very knowledgeable on these topics of TypeFlow, RevClone, and all of those very, very difficult pieces of software or tools. And yeah, the first one he shared both in the community. I just picked them up and showing them to you now on YouTube. But yeah, the first one is a lengthy video. It's kind of old. I think it's almost like 2 years old, but still very, very relevant on the topic because it shows how to do, let's say, a cloth a cover for a table, or how to simulate, let's say, a window curtain blown by the wind or something like this. I cannot quite find it in the moment. Yeah, here. Um, yeah, so and these simulations are of course very, very nice, very authentic looking, and of course they give you all the flexibility to actually do it with your own window, your own curtain, and your own materials and everything, instead of using ready-made assets and trying to adapt them to your needs. And the second video is this one here, which is very short. It's barely 3 minutes long, and it shows you how to create those wrinkled comforters once again with the help of TypeFlow. And the best thing about it is this is the free version of TypeFlow. So this is something that you can just download at any time without spending any money, and then take a look at the simulation. It looks absolutely amazing, very, very authentic. What you need is now to add more detail to this surface and a great material, and then you have an amazing, very authentic looking comforter. And once again, the flexibility to do it on your own and according to your own needs. So that was it. Estella, have you tried out TypeFlow in the past?
Yes,
And
yes. I
how was your
love
experience?
I love Typeflow. Typeflow, it's amazing. We usually used to spread some leaves or something like that. My dream is to do a bed, actually, because I love beds and furnitures. But I am not a pro, like pro in the Typeflow, and I am jealous with people that know everything in Typeflow. But
Same.
Typeflow is very intuitive. I think it's not difficult. But if you want to study, I recommend study a lot because it's an amazing plugin, amazing software to do the a lot of things, a lot of things. You can do
Absolutely.
everything: water, leaves, clouds, and
Ivy, there was ivy before there was like the forest ivy. There was ivy on Tyflow. Abdi has also done. He, at some point, he actually, because of our community, he started doing this um, Tyflow for Arvis series, especially for our community. It was really really awesome. Abdi, I see you in the comments. Thank you, man. It's really great. I'm showing your channel to everyone because yeah, we can learn a lot of it. And as Estela says, Tyflow is amazing and it can help you do so much things. Like here, for example, Abdi is just showing how we can, use a single piece of bread and a bow and then fill it in a very authentic looking way and create our own sets this way and save money. So, and once again, most of those are actually done with the free version of Tyflow, so they don't even need to spend money on this. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Tyflow is amazing, and it's great that we have people like Abdi who show us how it's done, and
yeah,
not nothing in return.
and teach us and teach us.
And teachers, yeah, but yeah, go drop Abdi a like or subscribe to his channel because I've never seen him ask for something in return. He does it to help us, and I really really appreciate this. And we should support people like this, as Estella says, who teach us because knowledge is extremely valuable. Anyway, I think we've done enough of news, learning, and so on. So maybe it's time for us to do some reviewing. What would you say?
Let's go. I'm
Let's go. Let's go.
anxious for that.
Okay, Abdi is saying in the comment, thank you very much for your valuable support. Much appreciated. Tyflow is one of the most powerful plugins today. Love it. Yeah, yeah, I've used it a few times, and every time I was also amazed. By the way, take a look at our new group cover. This image by Evelina Lecker looks amazing as a cover of our community. Actually, every image that we
It's
had,
stunning. This image is stunning.
yeah, yeah, Evelyn is a master.
Oh my
She's
god.
absolutely a master. But it was a close call. It wasn't, just Evelina. All the votes for Evelina. We had also this project by Romain, which also had like 55 likes. Evelina had 71, but this had 55, and it's another amazing image. Actually, all of them, just take a look at the quality here, take a look at the beauty of those images. It's really really difficult to decide, and in the end it's just about personal opinion or maybe the finest tiniest of details that give somebody, or the topic that gives somebody, a milestone. But yeah, that's really really good. Anyway, let's review some works together. We'll start with this one here, a project by Łukasz. Yep. It's called, let me see my note. Okay, it's called Stone House. It's done in 3ds Max and it's a commercial project. The house project was created for a client whose wooden house burned down. Only the stone foundations, I assume what we see here, and the chimney remained. Hence the idea to create a building made out of stone and brick. Yeah, we could learn a lot from those three pigs, right? And at the same time, I was also asked to make visualizations of the facade. On the sidelines, I will add that I am a visualizer and an active architect. This is a great combination. That's awesome. So let's go through the images once, and then Estella, you can gladly share your opinion about their quality. Let me just say that this was a very cool description. In the beginning, Łukasz just uploaded this. I asked him to add some backstory and explain more about the project, which he did. And you see how much this makes it better and easier for us to talk about this work when we have more input. But Estella, what do you think about this one?
Well, let's see. It's clearly that he tested a lot about the illumination of the scene. It's a very beautiful. I love it. The images, all the images. I have one favorite, but it's I love it all. Um,
Which is your favorite one?
um, back back one. Yes, this one.
The one with the mom
It,
and the kid.
yeah, this is my best because I don't know, the illumination, it's a very beautiful. The colors of the grass, the trees, and you have the autumn. The season is the autumn,
Yeah,
and the leaves on the stairs is very positioned. No, it's not going down or
yeah,
more up. It's very positioned, very
very
well
precisely
positioned.
scattered. Yeah,
Yeah, yes, and the colors it's combined by behind the trees. That it's yellow. It's autumn makes sense. Everything in the scene makes sense for me. The light that comes and you see on the ground a little bit, and the rocks. The rocks is perfect. I love it. The the light in the scene. The light
yeah,
it's in very clear. The I think the baby there, the children, the child, it's very good too. The color of his coat, red, make a composition on the scene. You know?
yeah.
The materials of the facade, it's very good. The only thing that I just take it off is the woman in the center because she is I don't know, she's not so inserted on the scene like in a good way. I think she's the fact that she is in the middle of the stairs looking in this kind of strange position that she is. I didn't like so much. So I would you know, take it off the woman and just let the children, the kids.
I think it's a part of the storytelling. Like, if you compare the first three images, what I really like about them is that, contrary to what many artists would do in a situation like this, many artists tend to keep all the people in the scene and then just change the lighting scenario, which makes everything look very much like a render. Whereas here, Lukasz made sure to tell three different stories. On the first shot, we have this woman maybe coming back from after hike or after work. It's in the evening, and we focus more on the interior and the house, saying, "Come home, come to me. It's warm inside and safe and stuff." And then we have the
I
second floor.
agree. Mhm.
You see here the glazing is closed because it's the evening, so it's like safer this way. And then on the second shot, the one that you like so much, you see the glazing is open. It means like the woman, probably the mom or a bigger sister or older sister or something like this, and the kid went out. It's an autumn day, as you say, but it's probably a warm one. So still not like really summer warm, but still one of those better autumn days when it doesn't rain the whole time and some. So this is why they opened all the glazings, and now he's telling a different story here. So mom's outside with the kid, and the kid is fooling around. Kids really want to move a lot. Believe me, talking from experience here, kids really
I
really like.
under yeah, I understand the storytelling and I agree with you. I just changed or the model like the woman because of the style that she is, like the position that she is a little strange, like
Yeah,
for a
she's a bit
mother.
model like, like a
Yeah,
pose.
and I maybe put a near by the children a little bit. I don't know, but it's a
Yeah.
thing, you know, it's a little thing.
And then we have the foggy shot, which is like without any people, and the glazing closed once again. But yeah, I wanted to really compliment this because once again, most people would just leave this, let's say, woman from the very first shot and just start changing the sun position or the time of day and stuff like this. And obviously, this isn't as authentic and storytelling like as it is with these three very different shots, despite having the one and the same angle. Um, so yeah, you said lighting. I think lighting here is a major aspect because it shows different aspects of this house. Like here, for example, it shows that it's great to sit outside, to enjoy the garden. And here, then we have those shots where the lighting, we have this overcast lighting so that we can focus on the materials, because with overcast
Yeah,
lighting, colors, materials have their most clear and authentic representation. So definitely a
yeah.
lot of work put into this one, right?
I think when you use like a light like that, like it's like motor funnel, and it's the HDR that it's a cloudy day. This kind of lights make you visualize the textures of the things. It's
Yeah,
very clear, and this picture, this image, it's amazing. The
yeah.
materials and the glass and the grass, the glasses of the house, the windows, every material is perfect. I don't have anything to say about this image because the materials is wonderful. This stone, I don't know what texture it is, but I would like to have this one.
I
It's
think it's
very beautiful.
you see the repetition here. There is some repetition visible, but it's a great texture, first of all, and maybe it's a bit enhanced afterwards with AI or matte painting, or we
You
don't know, but
almost you almost notice don't
yeah,
notice that there is a repetition,
only if
and
you look for it.
then maybe there is a you know I don't know, to improve some kind of materials. We are using the yeah to improve some materials. Maybe this
I don't
kind
know.
of repetitions when you pass like Magnific or Clean AI or something like that, you can remove some kind of repetitions that it's more easy for us when you
Yeah,
do this kind of this job.
but I
That
fully agree with
is
you.
amazing, amazing, amazing.
Materials are absolutely a highlight of this work, very realistic. The stone texture I would also love to have, and also the lighting scenarios really very nicely fitting, and also the modeling is great. It's a very skillfully done work. Do you have any ideas for improvements apart from the lady in front of the house on the autumn shot?
Mm, for this image, no, because for me this is perfect. I don't see anything to change here. Do you
Mariana
do
in
you
the
see?
comment says, I would say the edges are very sharp on the stone wall or not. I mean, you need to cut it off in order to place those windows. So I think that's okay. Also, we still see some displacement here. So to me, that's fine. The corners here, what would you say, Stella? It's good, right?
The corner? No, no, I don't
Yeah,
have.
like the edges and the
I,
corners of the stones are maybe a bit too sharp for Mariana's taste, but I think it's okay, honestly.
um, here, just when you're passing the mouse, is very good. I didn't see like it's too sharp or needs some kind of round because stone it's not regular. It's not there is not a thin. It's like irregular, you know. And I think with this displacement, it's good. It's enough.
I'll tell you where I see potential for improvement. It is on the side, on this side, with this relief brickwork. Because even if it's done with another type, a different type of brick than the ones used on the facade, they still need to follow the pattern and the structure given by the bricks here. And this isn't the case. It just looks imprecise. I cannot zoom in really much more, but it's not precise. It looks like a geometry, additional geometry atop of the facade, which it shouldn't be. And yeah, I remember working on a project where I had a similar situation. Let me show you. And yeah, the workaround wasn't really easy. What I had to do was adapt the displacement and opacity maps in order to make every second brick stick out but still remain in the already given pattern. And then I used distance map where I wanted this to happen. So it's kind of a finicky workaround, but this gives you a better and more precise result. So just as a tip for everybody who has to do something like this, don't just put another geometry atop of your facade, but make sure that those types of bricks actually grow out of your facade in order to create this effect of relief brickwork. But that's also all everything I have to criticize, because as we all agree also in the comments, it's just a very very well done project with really nice like scenarios and storytelling, and very realistically and authentically pulled off. So yeah, Łukasz, heads off to you. Let's move over to the second work for today. It's called The Last Shelter, but it's a work by Becca. As far as I can tell, it's a part of his master's project. Becca, I saw you in the comments previously, so if you're here, gladly say hi and let us discuss. So if it's a part of your master's, is it already done? Did you already deliver it? Are you still working on it? Gladly tell us more about this. In the meantime, I will read your description. Hello, guys. Sharing small fragments from the master's project, The Last Shelter. It's inspired by the Georgian film Mother of Locality. This project channels poetic solitude and cultural memory into architectural form. The Last Shelter explores how architecture can breathe life back into forgotten places. The film's main character protects the village from disappearance, a metaphor that, in this project, positions architecture as a source of life for its surroundings. Architecture becomes a guardian of the past. It stands alone yet not empty. It becomes the last place where someone might still arrive, still remember, still belong. Even when the village fades, the structure remains, like a gravestone, a monument, and a home all at once. Did you change the description? I think it read differently, but whatever it is a it's a beautiful description, very deep, very emotional, and really poetically put. Well, Becca says he's here, he's still working on this. Let's go through the images, and Estela, please, what do you think about this one?
What I have to say about this image is that it's perfect.
The
Why?
second one, like this
Why?
one.
Let me say why. What I most like is the camera, the vision like you have for this project. That's it's very simple. It's like a bridge with a church. I don't know, but the beside the color of the image that it's amazing. It's like a photographic image. We have it's like the person that took this image is feeling something. So take a message. This image um, make me feel like it's talking to me. Like I see the image and I can transport myself to this place and feel the mood and feel the climate, temperature, everything. So it's a visionary image. So congratulations to the person that made this image because it's not easy to have the eye of a camera and capture the feeling and take these sensations, these emotions, everything to transmit the by the image.
Fully agree. I think the first two images, even the first one was on the um, where was it? CG Architect name page or CG Awards or something like this. This one, and they're both amazing. The color grading, the framing, the compositions. This to me is also the highlight. Like the framings are really, really, really good, and because they give this structure enough room to breathe, and they show that it's about the dialogue between the structure and its surroundings. It's not just about the architecture itself, it's about the whole story that we get to see here. And we also have these different aspect ratios, like we have those widescreen images, and then on the inside where it gets more intimate, we have a square aspect
More
ratio.
more sentimental too.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have another widescreen angle, and here again, here it gets more sentimental once again, as you say. And then we have once again this square aspect ratio. So this was done with a lot of feeling. on the
Yeah,
artist side.
this is a art. It's
Yeah.
not render anymore.
Yeah, and this one I love too. I gotta say, I love the picto and I love the drawings and the combination of both. This is, I know many people will just skip over this shot because it's not like 3D, but honestly, this is so powerful. And if you have shots like this, gladly include them alongside the renders with your also within your portfolios because they show that you can do more than rendering. You know, you can do some really powerful drafting. You can do pictograms and you're more than just a 3D artist actually, which most or a lot of us are, especially those that do architecture and had to learn to do something like this at some point. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And also the nature depiction is wonderful. I think it's very authentic, very realistic, and just and also really cinematic shots. These first two are absolutely
Has
amazing.
everything. This image has everything. It's not. It doesn't miss anything.
Becca,
You can
you
put
need
a call in the middle of the image that will be crazy, like wonderful. A sheep, a cow, a dog, or something like that. And I don't
Becca,
know.
I'll send you Estela's address so that you send her some flowers, okay? Because she's a fan, and no, but I absolutely agree. And Pedro says projects with drafts and sketches look like artists really gave himself into that. Yeah, absolutely agree with this. And I think this is Becca shares this every time he shares, almost every time he shares his renders here. And I also see this as a sign that he cares, that he has this attitude of I want to do it, I have a vision and I want to implement it in 3D, which is awesome. And by the way, let's talk
and
about this.
and
Yeah,
sorry. No, I want to say something. And you realize that it's a very simple scene. There is no such things like so much things, everything like it's not a full of a lot of information. It's like a little rock, grass, and a little architecture in the middle of the center. And it's a very simple image, very simple scene, but the eye and the vision and the light make everything in this, make this wonderful.
absolutely agree. And
With
let's
simple things, it's just what I want to say that sometimes simple things make a beautiful work, a wonderful work, the best work of the world, but it's very simple. And sometimes we do big things like a lot of information to make a scene, everything, but it's not so good. It's like normal. And this is not normal. This image is not normal. This image is special.
our next example will be exactly an example of what you say, that you don't need to be a huge scene, a very elaborate work in order for it to be really nice. Before we move on and talk about improvements, let's have a small architectural lesson here. I always try to build in such fragments in our shows. Now, the first time I saw this building, you said if it's a church or something, the first time I saw this building, I had to think about something which I learned, I think, during my master's studies. And I was like, oh, that's a folly. And for those of you who don't know what a folly is, because I think it's something special, um, a folly is a type of building which usually is more decorative than it is useful, you know. So it will be a very short lesson, but I think it's an interesting one. So follies became pretty popular in the 18th, 19th century, and they were more or less what you see here, like castle towers or temples or even fake ruins that were added in big parks or like huge expensive gardens to make them more interesting and picturesque, you know, because otherwise you just go through a park and there is nothing you can see. You see trees, you see plants, but that's not interesting. And you need a point of interest. And so people artificially started adding those points of interest called follies in order to make, let's say, a walk in the park have some type of a goal, so that you reach the folly and then you enter it and you know there is just a room inside, nothing of real function. Now
Interesting.
nowadays we have modern day follies, like what you see here on this image, and they're still very decorative, very sculptural, but what they often tend to do is offer a higher viewpoint. So let's imagine if you take a look at the background of this image, you will see that it's just there is an image down here where you can see this once again. You see there is nothing much going on. So if you try to imagine hiking along this piece of nature, by this point you have probably seen lots of trees and grass and you won't be that interested anymore. But suddenly with this folly inside, you have something that grabs your attention. You have an eye catcher and you suddenly think, wait, what's this? And then at the next moment you realize that you can actually access this, and this gives you a higher viewpoint on the surrounding landscape. And then you start taking photos once again. So this gives you back the interest in this certain piece of nature or this certain segment where you currently lost at. So yeah, it very much makes sense. Here is another example of some follies, most of them actually being conceptual, but you get the idea. It's about the experience. Like, take a look at this one, for example. This is an amazing construction. So from an engineering standpoint, it's amazing. But if we now go back to Becker's work, you see the parallels, right? So you have this structure which is there. It doesn't have more function than being like a shelter, but I think it makes this place special all of a sudden. Because if you try to imagine
It's,
this without it, it's just some rocks.
yeah, it's somewhere to go. Like
Yeah,
when you go walking, okay, I'm going there, stay there a little bit,
yeah,
make history there. I don't know. It's a place to go. No?
yeah. Suddenly it's a significant point of interest. So yeah, you know what a folly is, in case you didn't. But yeah, this is a folly. In my book, it is a folly, and a very cool one. Now, we said a lot of great things about it, and there is a lot of great things to say. I wish the renders for my master thesis were as good and as exciting as yours, dear Becca. So yeah, in terms of improvement, while we're still working on it, I have a few points. Stella, do you have something?
Yeah, I didn't understand a little. What is in the middle of the image, like in the fully? Is like is no on there, or it's like the glass is broken. I didn't understand
It
the.
looks like snow on the inside, but it definitely has nothing to do there. Um, and yeah, generally, I think this is like a very subjective matter. Let's be straight about this. But I find this support structure to be a bit too prominent. Like I would prefer to see more of the folly of the shelter part itself, and the structure underneath, which is more, how should I put it, more delicate, more elegant, which doesn't stick out so much and make like a visual competition to the folly itself. This is once again a very subjective matter. What do you think? Do you like it, the structural support, the way it is depicted, or would you have it be more delicate and thinner and less visible?
No, I like it. I like the structure. I think the beauty of the architecture is exactly this kind of brutalism. No, it's not brutalism, but it's not so sophisticated. It's more it's natural that would be this way in the real life, and it's not. I don't know. I think it's the way they should be. No?
And this is why, folks, it is so great that I have a co-reviewer with me here today, because especially on subjective matters, if we disagree, this means that the artist whose work we just discussed gets two different points of view. One supports his vision, the other one is against his vision. Amit in the comments says, I think it's okay, as if it were more delicate, I would fear that the structure would fall down. This is a very valid point. If you see something which looks like it will break any second, then you probably won't be eager to enter this. So yeah, there are many, many different points of view, and this is so awesome about a community like ours and a show like what we do right now, is that the artists is richer in the end because they get different points of view and they can consider for themselves which is the one they would like to go to with. So yeah, I agree with this, but regarding the structure, once again, no matter if it is like more delicate or it stays the same, currently it looks kind of rudimentary. And given that, as Estela said, this is not such a elaborate and full of details building or object, you should spend a bit more time on precising the architectural details in order to make everything look as realistic as possible, because you made an amazing looking surroundings. Now make sure to do the same with the folio or the structure, whatever you want to call it, as well. Same goes for the materials. Make them more reactive, some leakages, make the wood be more like washed out and discolored where it faces the nature, and then still have some color on the inside. Just make sure that you make this structure look perfect, because the idea is already great. The nature of depiction, which is actually the more difficult part, is already done perfectly. Now you need to focus more on detailing or perfecting this part here. And yeah, obviously remove the snow from the cross, because this doesn't make any sense to be on the inside. And with this shot here, now it's a good idea. I get it. This is like looking into eternity, or seeing God's grace, or whatever you want to call it. It's great. This is a shot with a lot of room for inspiration, but currently it's kind of washed out and doesn't quite work as you want to. So maybe take some inspiration from the Church of Light by Tadao Ando. You see, we have the opposite there, and try to look how we still have this effect here, but we can still see what's happening on the inside. So maybe take some of the photos of this church as a reference and try to make it work in your case as well. So maybe push the camera back or pull the camera back and show more of this interior with the cross just being at the end of the image or something like this. Estela, do you have anything to add? The chat is going wild with ideas.
Yeah, I was thinking about the last image that you saw and that you showed for us. Can
This
you
one,
put it?
yeah,
Yes, yes. I was thinking about what you said about the light and trying to understand the artist that made this image, what kind of idea that tried to pass for us. And I think that the idea of him is exactly what we see now. That it's an image for more contemplative than we we usually want to see the things. No, we feel this need of see the things, and in this image, it's very light. There is very light in the scene, but I like it. I like this image, the way he put the thing, he put the idea and transmit the image that you can't see outside because it's a very sun and the fog on the image. It's very sentimental. This image doesn't pass idea of I don't know clearly things. It's
yeah,
more sentimental, but it's all.
yeah.
The
The
left.
question is if he can, make both, like still keep the
Yeah,
sentimental
he
part, but maybe
tried.
show some of the interior.
He
Um,
tried. He can try to do another shot, another one with a different light to see how the image could transform. But I like it. The two ideas of your idea and the artist's idea.
Yeah, no, I also tend more to what he has done here. I don't think that simply going for a, let's say, a standard view and making this like a real folly, like a watch platform or something like this, watchtower, is the right approach here. Obviously, this effect here is something which is a deliberate choice on the artist side. So maybe there is just a chance of keeping this, but being a bit more precise about what happens on the inside. Maybe just pulling away the camera or something like this. Just try it out, Becca. Try and see. Mikkel says an altar or something like this. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's church, if it's meant to be something which has to do with religion, or if it's like as clean as possible. I'm not sure about this, but according to your own ideas, try to see if you can maybe keep the message, but maybe make a bit of a nicer architectural shot while keeping the message. This is why I suggested following images like this here, where you see that you can even have some details and still keep this cross, which is a major aspect of this concept, very, very visible. I'll just drop you this link in the comments so that you can follow them. And I think it's time for us to move over. But all in all, I would say wonderful, wonderful
Wonderful
work.
job.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Yes.
absolutely. And because we just talked about what it that it doesn't need much to have a very cool looking scene, let's take a look at this project. We actually want to talk about the bathroom project by Mohammed, but let's first take a minute and talk briefly about this one. So he writes, hello, these two close-up renders are my first experience with exterior rendering using Vantage. It was a simple scene where I used a few objects from the Chaos Cosmos on a library, scattered them on a plane, and this was the result. I'd be happy to hear your thoughts on them. What are your thoughts, Estela?
Well, I think it's a good job for the first one, and I love the grass is very good. I would put some wild grass with this one to make a mix a little bit. And I missed the displacement on the sand in the middle of the image when you have texture. I can't feel the displacement, the sand clearly. Mm,
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. But what I have to say is, this is something really cool in terms of, decided to test Vantage because we're new to Vantage or something, created a simple scene with Cosmos assets. You have them with your Chaos software anyway. Then put a fitting image in the background, and then created some. If you take a look, if you don't look at what you just said, which is absolutely I agree with. The ground texture needs more displacement, and honestly, if you also want to do close-ups on something like this, I always recommend scattering some small stones, some gravel, scattering some debris like small twigs, some leaves as well, so that it's more realistic. I also agree about the grass. If you add some weeds, some random plants to the scatter, you can use the new clustering option of Corona 13. It will be better. But if we take a look at this on its own, this looks very, very good already. And this is something which is done, I would say, within a few minutes. And this is great. And if you want to take it further, if you don't want to just, let's say, visualize a rock, it's very easy to actually do so. You can change this rock for a chair, for example, and make some storytelling. For example, something like this, or you can swap the chair with a more prominent chair with some complementary contrast, and then do a project shot out of this. And this is what I really enjoy about his work, and why I decided to show it before talking about the actual project by Muhammad, is that sometimes it doesn't really need much to create a very nice looking scene, because looking at this, it looks like something in Northern Europe, like in Iceland or Iceland or something like this, Norway, where it's constantly gloomy and you have landscapes like this. And this is already very, very believable and very good outcome given the minimal input that has gone into this. So do you also do this from time to time, Estella? Do you, when you, let's say you have Vantage, how would you try it out? Would you just go full in on a project, or would you also try creating small scenes and testing this and that?
I always start with small scenes, testing and making something different and simple at the same time. But it's difficult to achieve this kind of simplicity and achieve the quality of this image. And I think the light is very good. Um, but I don't know. I do a lot of things with enthusiastic, and like when I think what I could do with that. I have always work to do, and I just leave the scene behind to make after, and I didn't come back. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of scenes like that. And congratulations for the artist to finish. But I like it this image, and I agree totally with you.
It's not a portfolio image, like it's the way it is. Nobody's that interested in a rock. But once again, if he decides to take it further, there is an option to do so. I mean, just take a look at this. This is already a storytelling shot. Just imagine a
Yeah,
cane or an umbrella leaning upon the chair, and then you have a bit of a story, or maybe a scarf which is just flowing in the wind, something like this. So I think there is a lot of potential to a small exercise like this, and of course, the artist like Muhammad, he shared it in the community because this is like a campus. This is where sharing something like this is more than welcome. It's really encouraged. But I think that with a bit more input, it could actually be turned into an actual portfolio project. And as Pedro says, doing this quality in the past would really be painful and take a long time. But now just take a look at the clarity of this image with Vantage. This is why we talked about this before the show started. This is what I really enjoy about Vantage. Just take a look at this. I mean, I don't
it's
think people,
amazing. He
yeah.
can do a lot of things in the scene, like put a chair, like you did, you know. Um, there is very potential to transform this into a job, a work, or something,
In a
something.
full-fledged portfolio work. Amit
Yeah,
says Muhammad might have gotten the idea from your last Vantage experiment that we saw on the canyon interior. What do you think? Maybe that inspired him. It would be great. I know that some people were really inspired enough to even go and buy Vantage because of this. So why not? But in the end of the day, this I mean, I'm always happy if I get to inspire you, but it doesn't matter that much to me if it was me or somebody else. What I really enjoy here is that somebody just decided to create a scene and also decided to also share it with all of us and say, what do you think? Like, it's simple, but is it good? And I think there is potential for this to not remain just a small exercise, but actually turn into a really cool project. So
yeah.
this is why I decided that it's good for us to talk about it. But yeah, we'll talk more about an actual project by Muhammad. And it's a bathroom, it's an interior. I have the feeling, Estela, you actually do both, but let me guess, you do interiors.
Yeah, I like most the
You like more
interiors.
than
Yeah,
exteriors. Yeah.
the
So yeah, it's there is not much he says about it. It's a bathroom project where he did the modeling and rendering with Max and Corona, and I would really love to hear what you have to say about this bath, Estela.
okay. Well, when I saw the image, what I like the most is the choice of the materials, the tones is very clear, is very harmonious, and the light is very nice. There is nothing that I can to add about the I think about the light because it's very beautiful. You can see inside and you can see outside without the overexposure that usually we met on this kind of image from bathrooms. Now, bathrooms is lighting the bathroom is difficult job. I always try to illuminate my scene, and I have a good job. But when we say about bathrooms, it's difficult because usually we don't have a big window or something that can the HDR getting on the scene. And sometimes we have to use another font, another way of light the scene, and you mix and you try and you try. And no, it's difficult. It's hard to illuminate. a bathroom. And I think the artists make a good job illuminate the scene. The light is the height of my comments. The furnitures, the materials is very good also. And yeah, the angle of this image, it's for me it's the best. This shot, I like it. And the fish eye, it's something that we usually use sometimes, and it's not used. That people don't don't use so much the fish eye, so it's different when you see an image with the fish eye. But it's important sometimes, and I think that there is a beauty in this kind of camera. The the only thing that I would change in this job is the towel on the
This
this
one.
is this one. Yes, the hobby here is very good than the other things, the blocks, the furnitures, and the materials, everything. But this one, it's not so good. I think.
Yeah, it looks kind of stiff, right? So you can it can be changed with some FFD modifier. You can change the form a bit, and then I think it's mostly the material, and this is something people need to know. When you want to simulate softness, it doesn't matter if it's on a sofa or a towel or whatever it is, get a high quality, really good texture, because what is essential for simulating softness is the normal map, and you really need a good map. So go for, even if or for a close-up like this, you can even change the material with 4K or even 8K. If you go even closer, you can also add hair and fur or whatever you want to do. But it's, of course, they make everything very heavy and slow to render. So with a distance like this, you don't need hair and fur, but make sure to have a really really good material, and a high quality one. If you use the chaos scans, also try them out, because they are very very authentic as well, and there are like a million fabrics in there that you can choose from, and I'm sure you'll find something for a towel. But now back to the fisheye lens. I gotta say, they are very well suitable, very nice to be used in confined spaces like bathrooms, because you either need to go for very low focal length, which makes for very massive distortions towards the edges, or camera clipping, obviously. But I'm personally not the hugest fan of camera clipping, because it usually gives an impression of the space which you would never be able to see in real life. And despite those rounded edges here, I think that fisheye lens still provides more authentic looking proportions to the space. And you see with the both fisheye lens shots, we see that the whole space and the space continuation, like where the toilet bowl is, where the shower is, the bathtub, and the vanity unit. So you see the whole space at one shot, which is a great quality for such a confined space. Obviously, this is not the smallest bathroom. It even has natural light, as you said, but still, I think that fisheye lens make a lot of sense here. And then we also have this beautiful close-up, which, apart from the towel, is also very nicely framed, and the focus is
Yeah,
great. And yeah, I agree about the materials. It's also generally, it's a very nice light flooded bathroom with a pleasant design, and it also seems functional. And you cannot believe how often I see images of bathrooms that make absolutely zero sense. They may look nice, but I wouldn't use this bathroom because it's absolutely sucks as such. And this one looks very functional. Everything makes sense. The shower, the bathtub, the vanity unit, the toilet placement, everything is like architecturally correct.
it's the space is amazing. You can dance inside the bathroom.
I don't know how often this happens, but if you want to, you
Ah.
can. Yeah, yeah. No, it's really, really nice. Maybe a bit of bump can be added to the mirrors, just a very tiny bump so that it looks like a mirror, even though it's immediately recognizable. And also when it comes to the floor tiles, let's zoom in on this. I'm an architect, so I never leave something like this out. Um, no
I
one will be laying those tiles in this case. So try to, if you have a frieze like here or a grout, try to match it to the positioning of the walls so that it makes even more architectural sense. But other than that, it's a thumbs up, right?
it's the material and this detail of the floor. I love it.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I think it's one of the Cosmos materials, if I'm not mistaken, judging by this frieze. But even if not, it's a great material, and everything just looks very, very nice. So all in all, great work. Um,
Great work.
Mohammed, you said the lighting is good, and I'm absolutely agree. The natural light mixes very, very nicely with the artificial illumination on the inside.
It's balanced. Hmm.
But I think that while the lighting is definitely serviceable, does a job, it's not emotional, or it could be more emotional. So if I were you, Mohammed, I would try out different lighting scenarios like a sunrise, sunset, blue hour, golden hour. If you have a blue hour, for example, then some bluish, coldish light will stream through the window, and then you can counter it with the warm interior illumination to create some color contrast, which will make for a very interesting image. So maybe having this wonderful base, maybe try it out, I would say. And maybe the next project will inspire you for that, because next we'll take a look at a very friendly looking dental clinic interiors done in 3ds Max and Corona by Bishoy. Okay, Estela, have you been in such a nice and kind looking dental clinic in your life before?
No,
Me neither.
with this kind of como que é couro? The sheet. No, yeah, the brown fabric. How the name?
Oh yeah, the leather.
Leather. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
The no with this kind of
Yeah, such warm and
this.
cozy and inviting and welcoming. Usually sanitary spaces are typically lit up in neutral or coldish light. But we have here something which is more like an interior, like a residential lighting or interior lighting, which doesn't quite fit. But at the same time, given that most people or a lot of people associate dental clinics with fear or with pain, I think this is a good approach because it shows, hey, nine, it's nice, it's friendly here. Come over and let me drew in your teeth. But yeah, I really like it. What do you think?
I like the scene overall. What I what I the attention my attention goes to the light again. I think the light is the base of a lot of the image, and in here I feel the light comes from the window and go to the floor, that it's smoothie and nice, everything is perfect. But when you see on the shelves or on the back, it's a little overexposure, and this is mm, get me like it's overexposure. I don't like it so much because you the attention, get my attention to that point, and I I don't want to see that point. I want to see the light on the chair, on the things in the middle of the image. So the
Yeah,
materials is perfect, but the artificial light, it's a little overexposure, and I would try to reduce a little bit to make the image more smoothie and more uh, warm, not so light.
yeah. It's really a balance act here because usually spaces like this, like cabinets like this, they don't rely on natural lighting because what happens on a gloomy day? Do they stop working on people's teeth. No, they don't. So they mostly rely on artificial illumination, which makes everything like uniformly lit up and so on. So having so much natural light stream in and create those absolutely beautiful effects here. Just take a look at the gobble effect. It's
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
beautiful, but this is not typical and this is not natural and this is not very realistic, let's be honest. So what we have here is a bit of a conflict between beautiful looking images and images that actually make sense, because if it was more about realism, probably everything here, the blinders will be shut so that no natural light will be blinding the patient or the dentist, and we will be
Yeah.
relying mostly on natural lighting. And in that case, probably the amount of artificial illumination that we have on the inside will be very good. But the combination of both leads to the overexposure that you talk about, and I absolutely agree with this. And the second thing that needs to be addressed in terms of improvement is that this work, once you take a closer look, you will find out that this is a very much of an AI overkill. Let's zoom in on this um, power outlets or on the drills here, and then you see all the AI artifacts happening. And yeah, you shouldn't be
Mm.
doing this. We should be always very precise when it comes to AI and just focus on certain aspects. Like, let's say if we want to enhance the drills, we should maybe crop them out, then bring them over to, let's say, Magnific or whatever AI tool you use, then do a prompt which focuses on the drills. And once we're happy with that, we should bring them back to Photoshop or, once again, whatever software you use, mask it properly, and then move over to, let's say, the leather or the chair or whatever. But just using AI as a one-click solution, like enhance, and then I just deliver this image, don't do that. Because once people really start zooming in, they see lots and lots of artifacts and things that don't really make sense. Just take a look at those outlets. They look really weird. And yeah, we should really be aware when it comes
Yeah.
to using
We
AI.
we should take care about the IA and use with a proposal. No, it's just use for some things. Like sometimes we use to improve materials or some to add something or remove something. So be careful using the AI. But
Absolutely.
it's good to use. It's important. I think it's very nice. It helps a lot. But take care about this
Absolutely agree.
artifacts that can ruin. But
But all in all,
the fact about the design of the this dentist is amazing. I love it. The colors is very balanced. You
yeah.
know, the leader, the color of the leader, the painting, the TV that you can watch you while you're
Yeah.
doing your treatment. It's relaxing. I like the idea. And
It was about time to introduce that, though, because most of the time when you lie on that chair, you just stare at the ceiling.
yeah,
And given that many people have anxiety or something like this, having a TV or something on the ceiling where you can actually take a look at and get distracted, so that you don't focus that much on your anxiety or your fear, is actually a very, very good idea. Of course, it doesn't need. I mean, we should be aware what type of stuff is displayed up there. Just imagine a horror that you suddenly, just jump off because of a jump scare and just bite into your dentist drill or something. But yeah, just something like let's say nature documentaries or something like this, which is interesting, pleasant to watch, is pretty cool. Pedro says, staring at the ceiling and answering with your open mouth unimportant things. Yeah, yeah, the small talk with the dentist. Yeah, who doesn't? But yeah, I agree with you. It's a really nice design. I don't know how it is in Brazil, but here in Germany, most you know doctors' offices tend to be a bit more modest. But when it comes to dentists, they really make very, very good money here, and they really like to show it off. So most of the dentist offices I have been to have been really like luxury looking. So I
It's true.
believe this one. The moment I see the leather and everything, I buy it. But it's cool. It's a good design. It's really a pleasant design. Money cannot buy taste. So you can, with all your money, you can create or design something which is ugly. But this is not the case here. This one looks very cool. Agree with this.
Congratulations.
Okay. And so all in all, thumbs up for this one as well. Really cool work. And it's time to go to our last work that we want to review today. And I'm really, really, yeah, looking forward to your opinion on this one. It has a lengthy description that I will read now because it has a very interesting topic implemented in that description that we'll discuss afterwards. First, we'll review, but yeah, I'll zoom in so that you have something to look at while I read. So it's a work by Smith. He and the topic is replicable lighting workflow in 3ds Max and Corona. Hey guys, here's a new render I've been working on. It's always a challenge to find new lighting setups for my scenes. This time I went for something more linear and overcast look combined with the sun. What am I aiming for? Well, to systematize my settings so that I can replicate them across other projects. I use 3ds Max with Corona Render. I'm not using any LUT, just tone mapping. Quick question. When you start a new project, do you use preset configurations that you replicate, or do you build everything from scratch? Sun setup, HDRI, etc. I know every project is unique, but I'd love to know if you systematize your workflow. It would help me realize I'm not the only one trying to save time on this. So once again, let's discuss the topic because it's a very, very interesting one at the end. But let's first talk about Smith's interior here. Smith, I saw you in the beginning. If you're still here, you didn't mention if this is a reproduction or like something you came up with, but you can do this now. And you, Estela, can you tell me, please, what you think about this one? Because it's a wild one.
It's a beautiful image. I like it very much. And what I think about the artist, what he did, it's something that it's difficult. It's difficult when you try to put some textures and colors that it's very attention, like strong colors, green, red, or yellow, everything. Like these colors, it's difficult to mix them, to combine for a stylish or a decoration. And here we have a different texture on the chairs in the center of the image. You have the green cabinets on behind with the drinks and the things behind the scene, with uh, a lot of plants too that is green. And this combination of the chair, the green, and the brown of the wood, I think is very nice, very harmonious. Even being different because it's another again, it's different. You usually see colors that it's more brown or it's more gray. When you see colors like green, yellow, that it's strong colors with texture that it's like a zebra in the chairs. This is stylish and could I think it's very beautiful. This combination that he made. The attention goes to the middle, the center of the image, to the table. I I would I, I would put some maybe a carpet here. I miss this for the cozy uh, room. I think a carpet would be great in the middle of the image. About the wood in the table, I miss some kind of shadow, not shadow, but the wood it's could be better. The material, I feel I miss the details of the wood. I think I would do something in the table. About the light, I love the light on the shelves behind the scene. The yellow, this color makes the scene warm. But I feel a little I miss the contrast of the illumination of the sun that comes by the window. It's too smooth, you know. I think a little contrast, um, brighter could be better. And I am not so sure about this corner on the image because it's competing with the center of the image, the table, and the chair, the armchair behind the scene where you yes, this ambientation. I'm not so sure because I think it could be too much. I take it off the chair and just I sometimes the thing we don't put it's more, you know. I
Yeah.
think it's too much there. But it's
Sometimes less is more, right?
yes,
But yeah, it's kind of full. But it doesn't feel really cluttered for some reason. Maybe because all the elements are so different, as you pointed out in the beginning, and that's why it doesn't feel like it's just full of stuff, even though it is full. You see, there isn't even much space to walk here between the different armchairs. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff, but there is also a lot of individuality to this interior, and I
personality. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, I really enjoy this.
character. Yeah, me
Um,
too.
yeah, and yeah, this bar wall, it looks like a plexiglass, which is like backlit or something, which is a very beautiful effect because we also have some reflections, all of it, and still this lit up finish, which is beautiful to look at. Materials, sets also look very, very nice. The lighting is beautiful, but I agree with you. And what bothers me kinda is that it's kind of a pity that the lighting only reaches so close to the glazing. I would imagine it to go further into this apartment or into this interior. So maybe try lowering the sun. I think in this case it was an HDRI, but doesn't matter. There are HDRIs with a lower sun. So maybe try to find one with a lower sun where the light could enter deeper into the space. And of course, take more shots. I mean, there is so much potential here. I can just imagine looking at, let's say, that chair in the back. I can imagine creating a beautiful close up there. But all in all, this is like an eclectic one, a courageous experiment, but it has, as you said, personality and character, and it's cool. I like it. I applaud this for this. And now let's talk about the question. Do you, Estella, systematize your lighting, or do you just create it from scratch for every new project? How is it?
I would love have the setup, the setting, you know, already. I can just put my image, my scene and create things and boom, put the lights on. But it's not this way. It's not never happened. Every time I have to begin again from scratch. And I think it's because every scene and every architecture is different. So the light, it never comes with the same high or the same way because the window is different, because the materials inside the scene is different. So the lights change so much that I can't use just a simple setup of lights. I already tried. I already tried, but you know, the same HDR, but in the same small apartment, it's different. The light came different. I don't know if it just happened with me, but I it's that every times from scratch. And you tell.
Well, I mean, you can, let's say you make one interior and it looks amazing and you've set up some lighting about it. Let's say it's just an HDRI, because obviously, if you, let's say, try to simulate portal lights or something like this, it doesn't work because every time the windows are different. But let's say you have an HDRI and you have, let's say, a tone mapping setup. You can export your tone mapping settings, your lighting settings as well. This is a way of trying to do what Smith is asking about. About me, I sure have some favorite HDRIs. I also know
No, me
some.
too. I
Yeah,
have I have some favorites, and I always use some kind of HDRs, but the values, the position is different.
this is the thing. I also know some values by heart, and what I do, let's say, when it comes to lighting and trying to automate it in a certain way, what I do in the beginning of commercial projects always is a localized daylight simulation in order to make sure that what I depict in the end, let's say I don't want to depict a sunset where people will never be able to experience it. This is just something which is very important to me to not show things that are impossible in real life. So yeah, I make this daylight simulation to see where the sun goes and which angle it may give me, let's say, a starting point. So I say, oh, the morning sun gives some wonderful long shadows. It reaches deep into my interior. I would gladly go with the morning sun, and then I can pick an HDRI based on this knowledge. But other than that, I absolutely agree with you. Every project of mine actually gets in its own lighting scenario because every project has its own goals, its own emphasizes, and you need to be able to cater to those. And if you just have the, let's say, same lighting scenario always, your work will start looking very uniform and monotonous, and this will make your portfolio also not that great. So I think a lighting setup is something which is reactive to the project you work on, and this is why I wouldn't automatize this. What you can automate, however, is your modeling. You can use parametric tools, rail clone, Tyflow,
Yeah.
Gauss
Mhm.
method, Force back. The staging, if you haven't, let's say, library organizers such as NECO or Connector, for example, the texturing, you can create your own materials, let's say the most used materials, and save them in your material editor and max. And of course, you can use libraries like the Cosmos library, Polygon. The rendering process can also be automated by, let's say, using batch rendering with Pose or cloud rendering tools. The client communication you can automate by using the Chaos Cloud or something like Miro or Figma or something like this. Mood board creation with Canva, AI enhancement, you can automate a lot. But my personal suggestion is don't automate your lighting. Make it react to your project. Agree?
Yeah, I agree totally. Even because when you start a project, you search some references and some images that you are trying to achieve that kind of illumination, etc. You have to try because the projects, the most of time, will show you what he can begin. I don't know. In turn, the project says to you, it's not you say the project, like
Yeah.
it's something like alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No?
Pedro says, I think for exterior, a more systematized way works better than interiors. They have more need for lighting nuances and details than exteriors. I agree. However, with exteriors, you often need to add additional stuff, let's say, which blocks some of the sunlight in order to create a dark foreground so that your building stands out visually in the sun or something like this. So, yeah, you may have, let's say, a favorite HDRI, which looks amazing in most of the exteriors, but you still need to control it. You need to then place, let's say, trees in order to create gobo effects and all of this. So, I think just you just need to react with your lighting to your project, being it a, I don't know, project, an apartment, an exterior, whatever it is. Lighting should be something that you keep, that you really focus on individually on every work. This is just the way I see it. But many other things you can systematize, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
Um, and related to this, because we slowly transition into this Q&A section, because we did our job reviewing, it was amazing. I want to ask you, there was a post in the group I think it was by Isaac. And at some point, somewhere in the description of this post, he asked, "What is more important to you, a photorealistic or a beautiful image?" So, what's your answer, Estela?
Wow.
Mhm. A tough one, right?
Um, it's difficult.
We like both, obviously, right? If it's a
Yeah,
photorealistic and beautiful image, it's great. But if you have to choose, which one would you pick?
a beautiful, beautiful image, I think.
This was
Because
my
it's
pick as
it's
well.
more I think it's more the message that you want to transmit than the reality or something like that. I think I want to emotion someone. I want to transmit idea or some kind of sentimental thing. And the beautiful image is that even if it's a sad image or a happy message, a sad message. I want to transmit something, and for this, I think the beautiful image is more uh, used for this case. The realistic.
I've seen the absolute same way. I mean, photorealistic doesn't mean a good image. If I just pick my phone right now and pointed it in a random direction and pressed the key, I will get a photorealistic image, obviously, because it's going to be a photo, right? But it will
Yeah.
probably suck as an image. But a beautiful image, even if not so great, will provoke emotion and will stay in the memory. So I think if we have to choose, I really think that it's a better option to go with the beauty rather than the realism.
Good question. Good question.
That's a really great question, yeah. And one
Mhm.
other question, it's a bit of a more technical nature, but also coming from a talk in the group. An artist posted a question regarding the topic of revisions, because it seems like they were pretty fed up with many revisions from their client. So yeah, there were very many interesting answers and takes to this. So, what is yours? How do you deal with revisions in your studio? Do you clarify this beforehand, or how do you deal with this so that it doesn't get to a point where you start hating your client, your project, and everything?
Yeah. Yeah. The revisions. It's we can run away from revisions. No, everybody has to this kind of thing because it's normal. You give some revisions for the clients, like 2 or 3 revisions. It's included on the project, but sometimes the client asks you some kind of revisions that that's a little thing, but no, just take it off here or put something there. Little things that you have to work on the scene again and rendering again and everything. Uh, this become boring, and the project became more take more time than you're supposed to do this project to pass in this project. So I try to be patient with the client and explain that there is some kind of revisions that we make, and there is another that will charge again, to do this kind of thing. But usually this kind of reviews is from Brazilian people. Our clients that it's in Portugal or in another country, we almost don't have revisions. It's like one, in the most cases, one revision. But in Brazil, when we are working with Brazilian clients, that here I think we are more suggestible to change the idea and ask for everything. So um, yeah, it's. I think you should to talk to your clients and explain what is included on the revision. It's important to do this before you start the project, because when you are in the middle of the process, uh, you don't have the, the rights to tell him that now he can't ask for revisions. And then if you didn't say anything at the beginning, now you have to take the risk and do what and do your best to deliver the job and make all revisions that we ask, because he's right. No, you didn't say at the beginning. Assume your responsibilities, do your revisions, be patient. It's and take this like a lesson for the next projects, the next jobs you do, and talk to your client. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So clear communication. You need to establish the rules before you start working. This is what I try to do is I send a quote, and in this quote is like everything I'm going to do, like the modeling, the texturing, and I explain also the phases. Like I usually offer two revisions with my work, meaning that usually the first one comes after I have, let's say, modeled everything, and I send some clay model images over, and we're in, let's say, in search of the perfect angle. This is why I use the clay model phase to send over more options, because once the image is textured and fully populated, then renders become slow, obviously, and we don't want to do that many. But in the clay render phase, we can still make a lot of images without spending hours on them. And then I send many options to the clients. And if there is something, because the building is then visible from many angles, if there is something which doesn't quite work when it comes to the building itself, they can criticize it. And then I send a second round for, feedback when I have populated, textured, and everything, lit up the scene, where it's like short before I do the final render. And this is clearly stated in my quotes. There are going to be those two revisions, and any further revisions cost this and that, like usually an hourly wage. So because sometimes it's just an hour or something. And now, of course, this is the theory part. This is what I send over. But what happens in real life is that sometimes people, let's say, if it's like a customer that I've had over the years, sometimes they don't need the revisions. Next time they need three revisions, and I'm like, okay, that's okay, because last time you didn't need any, now you need three. It's okay. But with new clients, it's often really difficult. Some clients, I mean, Pedro, I read a comment here when he says clients just want to feel themselves inside the project somehow. They completely miss the point sometimes because of that. And this is the thing, we in the end, we are the professionals. Obviously, if we screw up something, it happens even with very seasoned and skilled artists. It happened to me once that I completely forgot one single balcony somewhere, because it was a building, it had like many balconies scattered, and there was one that I absolutely missed. This is something which is a mistake of mine. I This doesn't count as a revision because it's a mistake that I need to, make right. But apart from this, the clients should, I mean, if they have to revise so much, like 5, 10 times, then obviously we're not a good match, right? We don't work good together, because otherwise they won't be having to do this if I'm not screwing up. So this is why. And sometimes it happened that at some point I say to the client, okay, you used your free revisions that come with your contract or with the quote. Now if you want further revisions, this will cost you so and so. So probably, let's say it's 3 hours what you want me to do. This means it will cost so much money. Do you want this, right, or not? And then it's up to them. But you need to really clearly communicate this, because if you don't want to, as you say, once you're in the project and you suddenly say, no, I'll stop and I won't do anything unless you pay me, then it feels like you're just changing the rules in between the game, and this is not something that you should be doing. But yeah, this was a great answer. And we have many questions from Amit, the question machine. But before I go to his questions, because you already mentioned this, like the clients in Brazil are a bit different than let's say your international clients. So what is it like to be an artist, a 3D artist, and have a visualization studio in Brazil in terms of clients, in terms of competition, because you have a very strong and talented visual 3D artist community there. What is it? What is it like?
Thank, thank you. Well, it's not as we don't have a lot of friends in a lot of clients in Brazil, actually, but it's not because we don't want to. It's something that doesn't happen. I don't know why. I uh, I think when you work with your people in Brazil, like for example, clients here, the market here for the architecture and the archivists, it's a little different. The market of the houses and the buildings, the commercial area, it's a little different. So because of that, I think the clients here trying to make, like Pedro said, uh, bring a little bit of yourself for the project. And they usually contract a designer for the projects, like a building that a company will construct. And they contract a designer to make the project. And then when they are just already construction, making the construction, they came to us with a lot of rush. No, I have to have the materials for the next week and etc. And we already have the design, everything. So you did your job, and okay, everything's okay. Okay. Then we received the project of the design, and we did everything she or he they did, no, the project, and we delivered the first image. Okay, we'll pass for one person, for the boss this person, and the boss this person to review the job. And then they came with a revision with the design change because the boss doesn't like the design, but it's on the project. So there is a lot of people involved on the process that difficult the creation of the image. What happened in Portugal or the clients that we have in the United States and Europe, etc., is that the project is not done. They only want beautiful images. It's all. It's simple. I want a living room with minimalism, okay, etc. You can create. So I create from the beginning. And I see, okay, it's beautiful, okay, it's not good enough. So it's my decision, it's my ideas, my creation. It's more easy for me, and it's not boring like when I receive a already designed project, because I am creating from scratch. So it's more fun for me. I am happy doing that job, so I make more quickly and fast and deliver a good image, a beautiful image, and they are happy because the image is beautiful and will serve his proposal. No, his uh, the job is done. They can use to sell the houses, the apartments. So I never receive a revision from this kind of clients from abroad, but in Brazil, because we have a lot of person involved and a designer involved, of course, we usually have this problem here.
So, I mean, what I would recommend is if the client changes, like the concept, the architecture changes, this is something that should cost extra, because
Of
this is not
course, yeah.
because some people, I know that in some countries, unfortunately, this is not what's happening, and people are kind of, forced to still deal with it and continue visualizing as if it was their mistake, but it's not yours. People from all over the world, please hear me out. It's not your mistake. If the client changes something, this is something which is like a mistake on their side, and they need to pay for your time for you to rework it, just so you know. um, Isaac says her scenario feels similar to here. Working in a market that is yet to really appreciate visualization is discouraging. The rush deadlines, lack of proper communication, and undervalued work. Yeah, seems like this a bit. I mean, people who, really want to, we really mean business. They want quick, nice solutions. They look for somebody. This is what I meant with this being a good match or not being a good match. Those people, they look for somebody who's a good match who saves them time. So if they find your work or for Bones Studio, and then they go through your portfolio and see, wow, this is exactly my style. They'll reach out to you. They tell you what you want, and then they get it because this is what they want to get. They want to get it quick, and they want your quality. If they start being like, oh, can you move the vase a bit to the right and do this, then they start wasting time, which may waste
Yeah,
them money. So people who are very much into business, they don't do that. They find somebody they can rely on, and then they want just their reliable outcomes. And this is what you seem to have with your like international clients. But let me go here. There was a question here by Amit, which I think fits very nicely here. It was, was there any project that made you feel sick and you didn't want to do it anymore, but finally gave in and gave it to the client, closed the project, and then maybe revisited it after a long time to do your own version of it or something? Maybe it's like a two-part question. Is there a project that really made you sick, but you still pull it off, like because it was a very unpleasant client or something like this? And then did you would you go back to this project and rework it, or is it a closed book for you?
um, I have one client um, that it's difficult because he is an architect and he's from Brazil. He always wants to bring his ideas to the project, and he make me crazy just because I don't know. And I think the project's like a baby pie, and when he tried to involve his ideas from the project, he get me nervous, And but I try to work my my mind with him and be patient with him. And now I do everything he asks me without no problem, no problem. I will do, and I deliver. But I know it's a shit. It's bad. I don't like this project. But if in the middle of the project, on the project time, I suddenly realized that okay, it's a beautiful scene. I worked a lot on the vegetation, on the decoration, etc. Uh, I want to use this and do my thing and do my side of the to tell this story, to do my version of this project. I will do, but uh, true is that it's almost never happen because I don't have time. So I have to move for another project. So it's difficult to just finish a project the way I would like. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you just deliver what the client wants and be glad that you delivered the project and you say bye to this client because you want something that excites you, something that or to talk with the person or the other clients that it's nice to you. So you don't have to focus on the bad thing. Do what you have to do and go on, move on.
Yeah, some clients have really the amazing ability to run projects into the ground, even if they have a lot of potential. But yeah, I think sometimes it's really, I don't know what it is, but it's like there's low self-esteem speaking or what it is, but they like need to implement themselves into things so that they feel like they matter. And usually, remember, people, you can fire clients. It sounds bad,
Yeah.
I know, but you can fire clients. Here Mikkel says design development is not a revision, it is an additional. Absolutely. 2, 3 revisions is enough for a project. If they want to adjust things, additional revisions do add up. Absolutely. And Pedro says we kind of look for the clients that gives us creative liberty. It is stressful to deal with picky clients, although they have the right to do so. It is more pleasant to work with who trusts your vision. Absolutely. Um,
I I declined me and Pedro, we declined the client once that he asked to do the interior design like a classic way. So I sent some images of references, okay, believe. And I did exactly like the references. The style is the classic style, etc. And the next day he sent me, no, it's not that we combine. It's like more this. And he gave me like a modern. It's like totally different. So I had to do everything again for another kind of style, different. So okay, this guy doesn't know what he wants,
yeah.
and when you have a client that doesn't know what he wants and ask you to to know what he wants, like come on, guess guess what I want. Guess what I want.
Yeah,
You can't
that's
guess what you want.
impossible. Yeah,
It's
but
impossible. Yeah.
what Pedro says, I absolutely have to agree with. What I have figured out over the last 13 years is that those clients who leave me some creative freedom and let me do my job, I tend to give 150% for them because I know they trust me and I want to give my very best to them. The
Yeah.
clients that you described, like who are like, yeah, they the whole time they have something to say and to criticize just for the sake of it. If I need the money, I would just shut up and also do like you do, like, okay, here, take your stuff and just leave me be. And I mean, Danushka suggested here something very nice from such projects is you can keep a trophy or two from those projects with a close-up, where you just, do a close-up of a beautiful small area which worked out the way you imagine it, and then forget about the rest. But I absolutely understand this. And this is something which clients also need to understand. I have also clearly and very honestly spoken about this with some of my clients and told them, if you leave me to it, I'll do more for you than you ask for, because I get into it, I enjoy it, and then it will end up better for you. If you try to control every step I take like a small child and just I'm the hand holding the mouse and you dictate everything I do, then it will turn into shit. Please don't do this. And this is like I have fired clients over time, even from big companies that people wish to work for. And I'm a single artist here and work for a huge development company worth billions, and I still fired them because they were those types of clients, which it was no fun. And it's exactly as you say, the final outcome isn't good because of that, because there are too many inputs that come together, and what you end up with is like if you try to cook something and just put all the ingredients that you have at home, and it just won't taste good. So I
Yeah.
absolutely understand it. Let me
Sure.
read you some interesting comments because people are now very, very active. Alessio says, last year when I worked inside an architectural firm, I remember really well a project. It was really a nightmare. It was a corridor from an old building and has done 178 versions of it throughout the year. At one point when they asked for me for modification, I didn't care to do good texture or light because I know it was a waste of time. Then I choose to not work inside an architecture company.
100 times. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
maybe it's maybe
100 versions.
but you can there are projects where you do this and do this and do this, and at some point you just absolutely detest this project. Pedro, it's a blast when both parts work at their best, and trust and of course clear communication. Absolutely. Ulfat, sometimes you have to help your client to guess what he wants, ask him detailed questions, do a presentation with references, absolutely mood boards and stuff. This way, you divide the project into phases, and he must agree with every phase with no going back. Yeah, this is true. If you say, okay, this is the angle we chose together, then at some then you start working on the optimal lighting for this angle and staging and everything. And if the client suddenly goes, oh, you know what, why shouldn't we look from a different angle, then it's no, hold up, you agreed on this one, we can go to a different angle, but it will cost like 20 additional hours. Do you want this? No? Okay, then we stay at this angle that we both agreed on, or we go to a new angle, but you need to pay. So you need to be very, very clear in your communication. Michael says, I don't commit with a client for a big project at first. I always go do paid final projects to know if we fit together. Then after that, we'll know if we move forward or if we part ways. Whew, Amit, you should give such creepy clients a trophy of harassment and a kindergarten graduation certificate. Yeah, some people really didn't grow up like you know how in the womb of a mother, first thing that we develop that develops is actually a people's anus. And there are some people that really don't develop any further than this point. They just grow like a human being, but they still remember this thing. Yeah, mood boards. So using mood boards is really a great thing in order to show exactly, so to prevent what you said. If you have a mood board with a certain, let's say, interior design style, and you agree on this, and then the client says, yeah, but I don't want this, then sorry, your fault, then pay and we'll do it if I have the time, because other clients are waiting too. So we may need to push your project further in the time. Yeah, it's really a difficult thing. Business is, I mean,
And
being the 3D artist is not simple.
yeah. And we have to know that there is crazy people in the world. So clients, it's not different. Some clients will just crazy, no? And you don't have to do the job is just he paid you. Like, of course, it's important. We need money, and we work for that too. But there there is there is a thing that it's your mind healthy, that it's very important too. So consider that thing. You're healthy, mind healthy.
Yeah, this is, yeah, you really need to click. I have some clients with that works that I really enjoy working with. I have some that are difficult, but more or less they're okay in the end of the day. But those who are really toxic or
Toxic, yeah,
don't
already.
don't click, or as you say, are crazy and really want to bring themselves up, then yeah, you can fire them. Or I mean, sometimes you got to prove yourself, because obviously the first encounter is always a difficult one, because they invest money. And especially nowadays, you can have a portfolio made out of AI, for example. So they give you money and they don't know what to expect actually until they start receiving stuff. But with time, I think you can convince them. Like Danushka says here, there are clients that at one point I took over the design process and drove the project home. Wait a second. At the end, they actually liked it. So yeah, if you manage to prove yourself that you're good, people should actually agree with this. There is a question here, if there is a motor race somewhere near where you live, because I think people are hearing some motorcycles passing by your window.
Yeah, all the time. Where I live is very loud
Yeah.
for a while. It's
Okay.
like it's near from a road, cross road. So all the time,
Yeah.
trucks, motorcycles, cars. Sorry.
Pedro says now you feel our pain. Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, if that's not too bothersome for the others, I can very much deal with it. But I grew up in Sofia, so I'm used to noisy surroundings. Okay, let me go because in the meantime the chat is so active that I start missing um, questions. There were some by Amit, but they are now buried in the very beginning of this whole talk. Okay, what was it? Is there any project which is really close to your heart, which you really, really love?
Yeah, it's there. If there, sorry, repeat the question.
Is there any project which is close to your heart, a project that you really love, that you gladly think back on or something?
Yes, my house.
Your own house?
Yeah, we are. Me and Pedro brought a plot, and now I am planning my house. It's
Okay.
our first house. So it's something that I'm really loving to do because it's from my heart. It's my house. So it's amazing because I work with that. I work with archivists and I can visualize everything I want. And the house that it's our home. So I can think about everything, every detail, every door, every floor, every tile that I want to put them, or the kitchen, or everything. So it's the job that I most like to do today. Sometimes I put the coins on the back a little bit, and I'm going to do my home.
That's
And
good.
when the renders become ready, I will post it for our future house.
Comparison images, we will need those, obviously. Once you implement it. But
And
yeah,
then we will construct and I will put the render and the reality to see if it's similar.
now that you announce this, you really need to do this. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the cases where your job actually really matters and really helps with the planning and with trying out different things before actually, buying them or implementing them and figuring out, oh, this doesn't look great together.
Yeah,
So yeah, wow,
I'm
this
very happy.
keep us updated. I mean, if it's not like
Okay,
this,
okay.
this sounds very, very interesting. And talking about you two, I have two questions there. First of all, you, let's say, lived a comfortable life, let's go it like this, having a steady income from your office job in a studio, and you decided, no, we'll leave it and we'll create our own studio. And this is a certain risk, especially if you're used to getting money every month and suddenly you open your own studio and you don't know if the clients will happen, if they come or not. So but you still decided to do it. So what made you do it? And was the beginning difficult for you?
We had a lot of we was afraid to leave the company, of course. Like 1 year talking about that. Okay, we live now, we live now. No, let's wait like more 3 months or 6 months, and then we see. Let's save some money to do a back, a back. Uh, some money to if something happened, no clients appear, we need to leave. So we need to save money and take that back. But when me and Pedro was working this company together, and then we decided that me will be the first one to leave this company. He will be working yet for a little
Mm.
bit just to feel the things how the things going, etc. But suddenly we save some money and decide, okay, let's try to get out this month, like February. In this was in February, yeah, this year, this February. And he said, okay, I want to go. I want to leave the company too. And I just already left the company. It's like, okay, Pedro, let's do it. Let's do it. And the company closed 1 month later. We
Ooh.
leave.
You dodged the
One
bullet
month,
there.
yeah, it was crazy. 1 month later, the company closed. And of course, we don't have we don't travel a lot or buy expensive things. Okay, we are trying to live a simple life for a while, even because we are saving money for the house and everything. But fortunately, we have clients, and every month we are doing something. Even it's not a big project, but when it's not a big project, it's a several mini projects. So we can put everything together and win some money to save and to use for the our life.
Yeah, to put food on the table.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah,
great. I mean, this is not like what happens with everyone who tries to go, become self-employed or establish an own studio. So given that you started in February, like you're half a year in, and it seems like you have a steady income or like a standard, a constant flow of clients, wanting your
yeah,
work, and knowing the quality of your work. This doesn't surprise me, but sometimes it's not the quality which an artist misses, it's like how to find those clients. So how do you do that? How do you reach out to people, especially international clients?
yeah. I lived in Portugal for some years, where I met an architect that I did some free projects at the beginning when I used SketchUp and Ray, and he became my friend. So he came to me after I moved to Brazil again when I come back, and he asked me a project, and I was very my job was very different from the beginning because I improved my image, etc. And he brings this project, and after that project that me and Pedro we did, uh, the another project come from him, and another clients from him too, because he started to talk with another companies and said about my name, and okay, the clients come just appears from him, and now it's like a mouth to mouth. It
Yeah, so word of mouth.
never,
Yeah,
yeah,
this is the best advertisement because there is already people have tried out your services, they have worked with you and they're happy. And of course this is way more convincing than putting an ad out there and saying, yeah, I'm the most amazing 3D artist, because this is what everyone says, even the ones that are not the most amazing artists. So yeah, this is
and
great.
other clients came to from Instagram or the on the web, but we never. There's a client that we made on the Upwork, but just once project. Competition sometimes we participate too, but doesn't work. So for me and Pedro, I think the mouth to mouth was the is what's working for us. Like we already tried to do the applications for, I don't know, like at work. You see the sites at work that the clients post jobs and you apply, but it's difficult from
I
getting
understand.
getting new clients. It's difficult. But when you have a good job and you win a good client, this client probably will bring another client. It's fact. So keep moving on.
My experience too, absolutely agree. Pedro says we have a hard time picking our old clients. Those who we work with come to us by word of mouth, basically, which is, yeah, once again, one of the best and more honest types of advertisement. So if you have so nice clients that will also recommend you to other clients, then you have really, really great clients. And this is exactly the type of clients where you know that you can do one additional revision, or maybe, just give them a close up or something like
And
this to show your appreciation, because they also show
treat
appreciation to
well
you.
your clients. That it's important. Sometimes your job is good, but if you don't talk to your clients or don't pay attention to him, they disappear because they want more than just image. And the relationship is very important, I think.
Absolutely. You we mentioned Pedro the whole time, so this is like a personal question, but I'm really curious. How is it to live with
Another
another 3D
archivist
artist?
artist.
No, but because you see, most of us, when we leave work and stop visualizing, we go back to our significant others or families, and most of them don't do 3D. They do something else, and this has both positive and negative sides. Because if we complain about my buckets weren't big enough, they don't know what you mean. At the same time, it's kind of relaxing to talk about something else, while you two obviously have the same problems at work. So once you leave work, you go eat supper, you still have the same problems and you discuss them. So how is it?
It's amazing because it's amazing. No, it's a dream. I'm living a dream because Pedro is amazing. He's fantastic. He's my best friend. We talk a lot with each other about not just about life, no, about the 3D, the art, about our job, our work, and we don't have any competitions between us. Like you are doing a better job than me, or your image is beautiful, is more beautiful than me, than my image. No, nothing like that. Nothing. I want to I want to bring my vision, or sometimes I want to put something like, okay, I think this can be better. Okay, change a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, perfect. Now, yes. So we vibration with this, and it's not, I don't know. It's like when you are at the school with a friend and you have a, a subject that you both like and you talk all the time about that. And if I have to complain about some client or something like that, we can like gossipy together about the clients. So it's good too. um, yeah, it's amazing, and we learn a lot with each other all the time. Because he is more focused on the exterior that I'm not so good, and I learn a lot from him. And the interior that is the opposite. I try to pass my vision and what I see to him when he needs to do the interior sometimes to help me. But it's I think it's we complement each other like perfectly.
He says, likewise, we just want to see each other better version on everything. So yeah, absolutely. It sounds very harmonious with you two, and makes me really, really happy to see this. It seems there was a question by Amit about what you prefer, interiors or exteriors. I think you answered this, just you are more in the interior side. This is why I had picked so many interiors to talk about right now. But why? Why do you prefer interiors rather than exteriors?
I think I already thought about that. I think because when I was like 15 or 13 years old, my mom had how can I say store of newspaper what the street. Um, we sell magazines and newspapers and
Yeah.
some ice cream, etc. And I usually helped my mom, and I take these magazines of interior design when I was 15, and I passed the leaves and see the magazine. I was imagine how living in that place. Every image I was imagining. I was supposed to do. What if I lived here? How would be? No, I was thinking, imagine like that, and I love it. So I think about to become a designer when I grow up. But I think, okay, but who will pay me for that to do your home or your house? I didn't believe that I can win make money to do interior design, but I love it to create spaces and see the things become cozy and harmonious. And I don't know, it's something like I love to do. It's to choose and see the colors and choose the furnitures and put and take it off and put again. And okay, it's crazy. It's what I like to do. So I transform uh, this feeling and this thing that I like in this job. I can do everything on the 3D, on the scene. So it's unlimited for me. But it's great because if was a real life, I would buy a couch. And if I didn't like what I do now, I sell the couch? No, but here I can put several counts and testing, testing, testing. Okay, perfect. Now I can buy the couch. This couch.
I understand. Well, yeah, your interiors are also amazing. I gotta say this. So, yeah, Danushka is also very happy with your answer. Yes, interior rocks seems like this is also his preferred field. I'm more of an exterior artist, so I find interiors more difficult than exteriors for me, and oftentimes it's vice versa. But it's just I think what you're more used to in the end.
Yeah, it's more easy for me to choose a couch than a plant. It's very, very easy.
But I also remember we had in Bulgaria we had this Italian architectural magazine called Brava Casa, and I loved going through these. I still have some of those here in my office because yeah, there were also those kitchens and everything so beautiful. But yeah, afterwards I went for like let's say classic architecture, meaning it's more about buildings and facades rather than what you do on the inside, and I never properly learned how to combine different materials and colors and stuff. This is always something that I needed to read upon in order to do, and this is why I think I'm more into exteriors. But yeah, this was a great answer. And how about AI? Do you use another question by Ami? Do you use AI for enhancement of your works, and what's your general stance on AI?
I use the Magnific just to make a little things on the scene, then pass the Photoshop. Um, but it's very subtle because on the interiors, the Magnific is not so good. Sometimes they crash, the okay, doesn't work so good. But the exteriors, the Magnific make a good job. And for the interiors, I just use for the some corners or some details, very, very subtle. And the Kling AI I already used to make a movie from the for a client.
Mm.
And yeah, I just used once time.
So it's a tool for you.
It's
I mean,
a yeah,
it's a
it's
tool.
new. Yeah, it's a two. It's a
But
two.
do you like how do you see the future of it? Do you think, I mean, how I imagine AI, looking at some movies, or I grew up with science fiction. This was the type of books that I preferred reading. I always thought that AI will come and help with cleaning the house, the dusting, doing the yard work, so that I can focus on art. Now it happened the other way around. AI is doing the art, so I have more time for cleaning the house. It's not exactly how I imagine it, but let's say I don't fear it. How is it in your case?
I don't know. I think will be a moment that will be critical for the jobs that became more unrealistic way. I don't know why, because it's too much. I think it will be too much realism that will become not realistic. I can see today the things that the AI are doing, and you start to realize what it really is AI. So this become more visible that what it's not real. And okay, this can they yeah, I think it's good for our job and facilitates a lot of things, make better. But it's a tool. I think we'll never take our place because they need the creative thing, the feeling that we need to pass. And I don't see the AI so soon, but maybe in 50 or 100 years, the AI, of course, we can be we can be here anymore, like disappear. I don't know, but I don't worry about that. I think we have our place, and the AI is here to help us.
I see it also this way, even though there are sometimes some alarming things can be heard from, let's say recently in the Keeping It Realistic chat. I think it was Sawyer who said that he was like last year or something, he started a job as a visual artist, as a 3D artist in a studio, and he had many projects, many visualizations to do. He was very happy there until the bosses came to him and said, you know what, now that visualization is being done with AI, find us the AI tool to do renderings with. And he was like, wait a second, it's not how it works, not how any of this works. You can use AI for enhancement or for maybe reference creation, but you don't visualize with AI. But I still needed him to find the AI tool as like a new render engine, just with AI, way quicker, way cheaper, way everything. And now he's in the process of trying to educate his.
But who will use this machine? The client of the
Yeah, obviously,
construction. Yeah,
that's true. The
do you
question
think?
is, if at some point we are, let's say, our job is reduced to writing prompts, even though you need the artist to let's say guide the AI, it comes the question: would we feel like doing prompts instead of modeling and texturing and all of this? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a distant future. I agree with you. And I also use AI currently as a tool. It helps me. You just saw an example how I used AI on this scene by Mohammed to add the chair on this lawn, to visualize what I mean. So to me, AI is very useful, not only for enhancement, but also for the shows and for teaching others. But and I think that one day, if AI evolves that much, it still won't be a one-click solution. It will be, as you say, you need the artist to guide the AI to turn it for it to make great images. But obviously, this will change the way we work. We won't be modeling anymore, texturing and wrapping and setting up lighting. We'll just be writing text. And
Maybe
maybe
we have to adapt it to the new form of creating the image. Uh, but it's like an old machine. You always came back and do what you want, but for the money you will work with the new computer. But if you want to use the right machine, you go back to right machine just because you like. If is your dream or because you like. But everything changed, and the software changed, the programs changed, the tools changed. We are always evaluating and doing what we do with new forms of doing what we do. And I like it. I didn't see the difference for a while.
the way I use it, I really like it. But yeah, and we on the previous episode of the show, we talked a lot about AI, and yeah, there are artists, the artists who offer nothing more than, let's say, very um, regular, very common, just 3D images, they have to fear because at some point AI will replace them. But I think even in like nowadays, there is a studio here in Germany. They are called Artillery. They do drawings, like digital drawings, but it's drawings. Like that's not photorealistic, and they still have a huge queue of clients in front of their door who want to work with them, and they're expensive. But so if drawings still have a place in our society where we have 3D renders and all of this, even if when AI becomes the new render tool, I think good 3D artists using the standard or classic tools like Max or whatever 3D as 3D software and engines will still be needed. Okay, last question because I think we can talk here for hours, but yeah, I don't know if people have enough coffee for this. So, what do you do to balance out your life? Because obviously you sit a lot of time in front of the monitor, in front of the PC, you do a lot of work. So what do you do to keep healthy both physically and mentally? Like,
Okay, my routine.
not only routine,
And
just
no, and on the beginning, when we were working on from the other company, was very difficult. Like because you need to do your food, go to the supermarket, you need to exercise, and you need to do your job. Was very very difficult, and I started with some weight because I didn't get out of the house, and I started doing gym, and every day in the morning I go to the gym. I came back to house. I rest a little bit. I do the food for the lunch, and I start working after lunch. I never work on the morning because ha- as I have to stop to lunch, I think for my creativity, it's not so good. So I want to start to work and don't stop for some hours. And I try to do this. Oh, sorry. And I try to do this like during the afternoon and start like after lunch and do the rest of the things in the morning. It's how I separate my life morning and lunch and after lunch.
so it's gym and spending time with your partner and enjoying discussions and time together. So
Yeah.
you
And the
do.
weekend we usually travel a little bit to go to another city to travel or something like that too near, just nearby. But just to take it off, take leave the city a little bit, go to the farm, you know, breathe good air or something. And this is what we do usually do.
So you don't do it around the clock. You still need to find time for your physical and mental health and for your partner and stuff. And you
Yeah.
can still manage to, work on your self-employment, on your studio and create beautiful images. I think it's important to hear because sometimes I think many people think that the only way to be a good artist is to do it 24/7. That there is no
No.
other option. And
Of
um,
course, sometimes there is a project that we have to deliver, and we have to work like full time for 1 week or two because it's to be delivered, right? But now that I am like very calm and the things is going well, I try to separate the time for me and my health and the job. It's separate time. The day has two times, the morning and the afternoon. And the night it's mine, of course, because I need to sleep a lot. So I try to do everything in 5 hours.
Okay, so sleep is your motivator. This is great. I love this.
Yeah,
Um, Abdi says, I guess time is easier to manage when you don't have kids to care of, not complaining, just saying, yeah, obviously, once kids enter your life, it becomes more
a little
difficult.
bit. Yeah,
Still
Yeah.
manageable. You see me here. I live and I look good for a 18-year-old, right? So, and Elle says, I'm guilty of that. I want to go back to exercise because I'm always glued to my chair in front of my PC. Well, I always strongly recommend doing something else, like some type of sport or, whatever you like. It doesn't have to be a gym. Go hiking, spend time with your loved ones. But I personally, looking at just at the history of, of humankind, the history of artists, like some of the greatest artists out there, being Salvador Dali, Picasso, Frida Kahlo, whatever you want to call them, they were very active. They had a very active social lives. They were really part of society. They were part of politics. They were out there. They didn't just paint 24/7. And I think in order to get ideas, to get inspiration, to reignite the flame of your love for 3D, I think it's a good idea to actually do more than just sit in front of the PC. This is what I just recommend, and I'm glad to hear this from you, Estela, as well. Now, we did almost like 2 hours and 45 minutes so far. So I see Amit here saying we can go on if you two are okay. Amit is hardcore, but not everybody is like Amit. So Ella, I wanna no, it's great, Amit. I really appreciate that you enjoy the show so much, and everybody else who stayed with us. There are many people, and I'm sure many will also watch the recording afterwards. So, Estela, last question for you. From my point of view, you were absolutely amazing, but how did it feel for you those 2 hours and 46 minutes by now?
Was an honor. Was amazing to be here with you. I admire you so much, and I love this community. I love these people that are here because they are so kind. No, and it's amazing to have this opportunity. For me, it's the first time that I appear like on the internet, so it was very different for me. And okay, I always learn with you and with this community. So thank you so much to invite me.
It was a true pleasure, and you did absolutely great. It wasn't visible at all that you don't have experience with this because you did absolutely amazing since the very first minute. Your presentation, your reviews, not agreeing with me. I love this. Honestly, it's part. No, it's part of the process. It's great for the audience. It's great for the artist. And it's great for your confidence and for everything. And also answering all those questions, and you were like you were certain about your English. It was perfect. It was a great session that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it was an honor back for me to have you here. You're an amazing artist. And someday we'll also have Pedro here for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I will take him.
Yeah, is he there? Can he wave?
Pedro.
Pedro, come on.
Pedro!
I'm sorry. Um,
Come on. Ah, apareceu.
is he shy?
Ah.
So nice
I
to have you.
see
He doesn't
you.
hear, right?
Ele tá
Yeah, I'm
ouvindo
listening.
no Facebook, né? Ele tá assistindo a live.
We'll have you here at some point, Pedro. Danushka says today's awesome time just flew so fast and really great. Estella joined us and wish you
Thank
all the
you.
best for your future. So, yeah,
Obrigada.
yeah, you two are awesome. And yeah, Pedro, we will have him at some point as well. So, yeah, time to wrap up today's really amazing session. Folks, it was not only pleasure to hang out with Estella, but with you in the comments. You were so active. You made some really great questions and remarks, and you made this show also way better than it already was. So yeah, as usual, it was a pleasure to hang out with
Thank
all.
you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a great start in July. Stay safe, be healthy, and yeah, we'll see each other once again in 2 weeks at the usual place and time. And until then, obviously, don't forget to rock on and keep it
Bye.
real. Bye, my friends,
Rock
and much
on.
love. Ciao,
Ciao.
ciao.
Ciao.